Nobody no-sells it like Brock Lesnar, believe me.
That's kind of his stick.
Yes, that's why we love him. That's why I love him. The guy is a freaking monster, and we love him.
He's Ivan Draco from the Rocky movies.
No, he's not Ivan Draco. He's like an overpowered. Okay, the guy is basically Terminator. Yeah, you cannot put this guy down. He keeps coming back. Oh, and he just destroys you.
No demonstrate time travel powers yet.
Actually, I think it kind of did because over the past over the past 7 months, the WWE has been stuck in some sort of a time loop in which the same things happened over and over again. So I think
basically WWE is in the Endless 8 arc.
Oh, that's a good
no.
Yes, it was really that bad. So bad, in fact, that people are mass canceling their subscription to the network already.
Yeah, seriously, like, the WWE ain't looking so good right now.
It does not. Honestly, I'm actually more invested than ever in the narrative of what the hell are they going to come up with to solve this situation, because that's the most interesting narrative I can find right now in that company.
The answer is I have no earthly idea.
Honestly,
I know.
To be honest, guys, you won't believe this. You won't believe this, but last time on SmackDown this week,
yes,
they bragged about the fact that they have reached 1 million subscribers on the network.
Oh my fucking god! Really?
Yes, and their free app, their free downloadable app, has 15 million downloaders. They have less subscribers than a YouTube Let's Play channel, and they are bragging about it.
Oh my fucking god!
That is the saddest thing I've ever heard.
That's amazing.
Oh my god! This is Vince McMahon's worst folly since arena football.
Oh, I know how they could improve the WWE's writing. Get Tara to write for it.
No, you're the best part here. The best part is...
No, the thing is, Tara probably went on the right for WWE.
No, actually, you know what? I think if Tara Gillespie would actually get to write stories for the WWE, they would be better. At least they will be original, completely unheard of original, which is better than they're getting now. Okay, guys, this is turning into a podcast in its own right.
Yes.
I want to do a WWE related wrestling podcast in forever, just to piss on them because they're doing it so wrong. It's actually hilarious.
Like I have no idea how they can fix this because they have no talent left in that company.
They have no idea how to read
I mean, the Royal Rumble made that crystal fucking clear. There's maybe 10 people worth of goddamn working for them.
Which is too bad. Okay, they have like what, 10 people who are considered important, and everyone else is on the same level of loserness. So basically, it's like what Spoonie said. The lifeline of the WWE is like this flat line that goes. And the sad part is that ignoring the awfulness of the Royal Rumble match and the utter predictability of it all, the WWE title match was absolutely glorious. It was like the best thing I've seen in a long time. It was like it was beautiful.
But what do the titles and championships fucking matter at this point? Literally,
they would matter if they all have amazing matches like this one.
They would matter if they fucking actually build it up like it was worth a damn. Like, literally, Cena was like, oh, championships come and go.
I remember that.
He was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yes, but seriously.
He no-sold it.
Ross, have you actually seen this match? This triple threat match involving...
I have not watched the match. I heard it was amazing.
It was one of those things that makes you realize, yes, this is why I watch wrestling. This is why championship match are supposed to matter to me, because you have this kind of performance, and you also had this really cool story told in the performance of the match itself.
That's fine. It can be a good match, but here's the problem: that belt still don't mean a damn. I mean, at the end of the day, like, fucking Brock Lesnar literally got the belt, then fucking disappeared for like 7 months.
Yes, for 4 months.
I mean, what does it matter?
I hated that. You have no idea how much. It's okay, guys. You have this network. You have this new channel. You're trying oh so hard, so desperately to promote, and then you have your super popular champion disappear for 4 months. And why is that? Because the guy is not actually employed. He's a part-timer. He's literally, in real life, a guy who's being paid for making presences. And that's the guy you're giving the championship to.
I know, it's fucking stupid. You know what? Here's what they should do for right now, okay? They should literally just completely shoot the works. Like, I don't see how they can get out of this any other way. Like, they literally need to, like, completely combine NXT and the normal Raw stable, whatever you want to call it, the WWE stable. And they literally need to throw out every ongoing feud and storyline to save this thing.
So basically you're telling me they had to go the DC route and basically start a new 52?
They had to fucking retcon this. I mean, there's no way out. There's no way out.
I'm afraid it's not that simple. I mean, it might work in comic books, but they've done
this shit before. They basically did that when they fused WWE and WCW. They fucking threw everything out.
Okay, don't forget ECW. Yeah, it was the invasion theory.
Mass fuse at once, and they fucking threw everything that
happened at the end course of the Attitude Era, which was a completely different time. You know why it was a completely different time. It was a time in which WWE would actually
WWE actually had talent.
No, it's not just like that. I mean, they have a lot of talented people working for them. It's just that they don't know how to use them anymore, because they have lost the ability to see what makes people like this fake sport, or however you want.
You know what? I think someone needs to take Vince McMahon, lock him in a room, and make him watch about 6 hours of Japanese pro wrestling.
No, you know what? No, I think you know what this business needs.
So he gets an idea of how you really do this shit.
What does this business need is for Vince McMahon to step down and for Triple H to go on top, because Triple H is the one who's been working. Triple H is the one who's been working on NXT.
True, that is kind of his pet project.
So and for what I heard, NXT is like totally, completely superlative. So, honestly...
Yeah, but is he the one writing it? You see, you want the writer from NXT there.
Okay, here's the thing. Vince McMahon is old. Let's face it. Oh, wait, okay. Yeah. Vince McMahon is like Stan Lee, you know? He's been this genius, innovative mind for years, but then, like Stan Lee, he's grown old, and he started to make... he started to write Stripperella, so to speak. So WWE right now is Stripperella.
I wouldn't even call that. He just tries to recycle the same storylines that he's always made, just staging them like 5 years apart.
That's not recycling the same storylines is not even the real problem of this company.
I mean, that's always kind of been like the base problem with WWE, but this is just like
that. The problem is actually far more insidious than that. The main problem right now is what they're doing with Roman Reigns.
Yes, I know.
Here's the thing. They managed to do this with John Cena when they tried to promote him back 10 years ago, and he's been on top for 10 years. You know why?
Yeah, I was actually still watching wrestling when John Cena made his debut, and he was just like a nobody at that time. I mean, I know he was just getting started, but he had this thug gimmick, like basic thugonomics.
Actually,
really terrible.
Actually, the white rapper thing came even afterwards. The guy debuted in 2002, and he was some sort of he was the ruthless aggression guy. And he had this really good debuting match with Kurt Angle. So here's the thing: John Cena managed to go on top and stay on top because at the time we still had Raw and SmackDown as in two separate entities. You know what?
Yeah, I remember when Raw and SmackDown used to have two completely different stables of wrestlers and two completely different storylines that would only meet on pay-per-views.
Yes, actually,
and the reason for that was at the time, cable TV was not as widespread as it was today. So the idea was that you had people that were poor like me that couldn't watch both Raw and SmackDown to keep up. So SmackDown became its own entity for those without cable to have a storyline that they could follow.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. The two roster separations worked well for a while. The advantage of having two rosters is that you could have two top face guys at the same time for each and every program, which means you could actually push over two top guys at the same time instead of one to cover every inch of space for several years, which would allow more variety even for feuds. And that worked well in the period in which John Cena was actually getting pushed over at the same time as Batista on Raw. Batista's career went down the drain eventually.
Oh yeah, it did.
But John Cena, on the other hand, went on top and stayed on top for as long as they wanted it to be. Not only, even though half the fandom, as in the adult male portion of the fandom, completely turned its back on him, they kept him on top. And they also kept pointing out the fact that he was not liked, and and in spite of that, they kept pushing over others. And you know what? I'm going to be completely honest with you on this, because I need to say this. For a while, I actually liked John Cena because of that, because he kind of passed off as the ultimate underdog. Not only would his opponents underestimate him, but the audience would underestimate him, just like Rocky in Rocky IV when he was fighting in Russia. So it felt like a good story to tell at the time. The problem is
they never dropped that gimmick.
Yes, it kept going for 10 years. It might work for the first 2 years at best. It worked.
But eventually, when you are one of the most decorated champions in the history of the company, you are not the underdog.
Yes, and keeping pointing out the fact that the audience keeps booing him does not even help that. I mean, you are encouraging them to go, let's go Cena sucks, every single time he wrestles. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy a lot John Cena as a performer. I don't care what they say, he's damn good and he keeps improving every year, but we kind of have enough of him being on top. In fact, now we get to the problem that is now. John Cena is actually finally slowly going out, because his time has finally passed. My time is now is no more, like the song does. The problem is the guy who's...
They have no one to replace him.
No!
They have no one to replace him.
No, it's worse than that. They had a guy planned, hand-picked to take the place of John Cena, which was Roman Reigns. And they were so transparent. They were so transparent, so utterly obvious about it, that everybody in the audience, in the quote-unquote universe, realized that, and they obviously did not like that. Because they understood they were being manipulated. It was obvious they were being manipulated, and they were forced to like a guy because the company was saying to them to like this guy. And the really sad part is Roman Reigns was really very, very well liked and popular and very beloved when he was part of the Shield. But then
I know. Once they split up the Shield, everything sucked.
Fantastic idea of splitting up the Shield, and pushing this guy as the main eventer, and he was not ready for it. And they were so obvious about it, and they gave him the worst promos in existence. And now,
Yeah, I heard about his promos. His promos are pretty fun.
And now, amazingly, surprisingly, he is not a champion yet, and he's already more booed and less popular than John Cena. That is...
And everyone's fucking jumping ship.
Okay.
Everyone is fucking jumping ship. It's amazing.
And of course, there's also the fact that they would have a guy. They would already have a perfect guy to be on top, which is Daniel Bryan, which is more beloved than Hulk Hogan and The Rock put together, apparently. But he still keeps being an afterthought because Vince McMahon does like... Because
it might be one of those things that maybe he did something behind the scenes that really pissed off the management. We don't know. I mean, to be fair, if the crowd loves him and they're not pushing him at all, there's gotta be some reason for it.
Well, honestly, more often...
If I had to guess, maybe he just fucking rubbed Vince the wrong way, and he's like, no, we're not putting this guy over, ever.
Honestly,
so he did a Bret Hart. You were just trying to tell me.
Honestly, it cannot be that. Honestly, it cannot be that because otherwise he wouldn't even come close to main eventing WrestleMania 30. No matter how much the crowds would. Honestly, what happened last year was something that was pushed by necessity because nobody liked the idea of Batista winning the Royal Rumble last year, and this year was a near repeat because once again they did not like the guy who won the Rumble. Which is ironic. Which is ironic because the guy who won the Royal Rumble this year, Roman Reigns, was the guy who was eliminated last year in the Royal Rumble against Batista, and he was the guy who was been cheered down by the audience because they don't want to see Batista win. Oh.
So yeah, those problems with the WWE. I mean, like I said, I only really follow. I don't watch it. I follow it a bit, if that makes any sense. Just because I can't believe how bad it's gotten.
Yes,
I actually watched wrestling during the Attitude Era. I cut my teeth on like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Degeneration X, The Rock, Mankind. I mean,
yes, I do.
This was when.
Wrestling
had balls.
The funny thing is, the only reason why this company actually had the balls to do certain things at the time, the reason why the Attitude Era is kept on such an high regard was because at the time the company had some actual competition.
Correct. They basically had WCW pushing things up, and they had to do something to get the attention.
So of course they would have. They would have to. They would have to take all the guys that were actually popular with the audience and push them as best as they could, all to get the better ratings. So that brought us to the success of people like Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock, and eventually The Rock, and so forth.
I mean, and to be fair, Steve Austin wasn't all that great a wrestler. Like, honestly, he was not all that athletic a guy.
Well, of course he wouldn't be, because he had a neck injury after a fricked up pile driver for Owen Hart.
But actually, the thing about Stone Cold Steve Austin is that he was not much of a technical wrestler, but he was a fast-paced brawler, and he really sold his performances because of how brutal and direct he was. That's what.
Yeah, he was a. How do I put it? He wasn't a great wrestler, but he was a good performer, if that made any sense.
Okay, you put him in the same match with The Rock. They had the most...
They had some of the best matches of the day,
period. They were one of the most fast-paced, neck-breaking brawls you ever see with The Rock. It was just...
Remember when there was a hardcore division in WWE?
That was a bad idea to begin. That was a really bad idea to begin with. It was a novelty, just like ECW itself.
It was a novelty, but it had its place at the time.
Yes, but it couldn't. It wasn't really meant to last. Just like CW itself, because let's face it, it's something like.
I think the only thing that survived ECW was Taz for a while.
Oh man. Okay, please don't let us not talk about the CW because we'll inevitably bleed into the argument about the so-called revival of ECW in 2006.
Oh, I didn't see any of it, so there's no argument here.
I have seen it. It was honestly it's the second worst idea this company ever had after the WWE network itself. So that's saying a lot.
My question is, why are we going on about all this wrestling stuff when Devar is literally just sitting here like, I really have nothing to add to this, guys.
Okay, Devar, let's lighten up the mood. Devar, a favorite ring entrance?
Christian.
Seriously? That one?
Nah, not that one. Not that one. The one afterwards when, if you close your eyes.
Ah, come on. That's so cheesy.
I know, but it's so awesome though in that cheese factor. The first best entrance really goes to The Undertaker for classic.
Yes, Undertaker. Everybody likes the entrance of The Undertaker, but I'm going to go with unpopular opinion and say I don't really like it because it's way too long.
Well, yeah, you're free to say that, but it's just the music really gets to me.
The music is just the music is just a remixed version of the Death March, the one the funeral march.
But to be fair, the Undertaker's had a few entrances over the years.
Oh yeah, would you like? Okay,
I am American Badass.
I was actually a fan of his biker entrance.
Yeah, I remember his whole biker stick. That didn't last all that long, did it?
That was not a good idea.
It lasted a few years, though.
Well, they basically gave King his entire stick for that time.
So you have a timeless character like the Undertaker, which is basically a demonic zombie. With the power of darkness and what have you.
Except when he's a biker.
And now he's a biker from Easy Rider. Wow, way to make a timeless character, even more timeless. Just, jeez. Oh man.
To be fair, I think every great wrestlers had a stupid gimmick at some point.
Yes. You would expect that to be at the beginning of their career,
Well, sometimes it happens in the middle of it. I remember, King was a demented dentist or something before he became...
That was at the beginning. How
about the time when Kane was all like, "Freaks are cool," and copying Hulk Hogan?
Listen. Nothing is worse than what Kane is doing right now.
Oh god, I don't want to know.
Yeah, his corporate Kane, Citizen Kane bullshit.
He goes to the ring wrestling with his business pants. Why? What?
That can't be comfortable.
So he had a casket match against Daniel Bryan this past SmackDown.
Who cares?
Well, it was a nice match. It's always nice to see Daniel Bryan perform because he's really good at what he does. He can carry pretty much anyone.
Sure, but still, who cares?
The problem is, Kane did a couple of promos saying about the casket match, the casket match being this gruesome, nightmarish experience.
No, it isn't.
No, it's not.
Yes, but even if it was. We would
maybe a buried alive match. That's pretty fucking dark, but
Ross, let me finish. Even if it was this nightmarish experience, the casket match and all that, I couldn't take him seriously for 1 second because he was wearing his business pants. I mean, if it was the Demon Kane, the one that people actually liked, the one that they somehow decided to briefly revive at the beginning of this year, only to completely dash again in the same exact way they did the first time.
Well, apparently they're the Attitude Era needs to die and die with fire.
Which is, and then if that's the case, then why do they keep reminding us how cool the Attitude Era is every time there's a chance?
Ray Dudley back.
I think that was fan service specifically meant for the Philadelphia audience because that's the home of ECW.
Well, can we actually think of something here where basically it's where they've had worst ideas. They had just as bad ideas in the past as well. If you remember, some of the
remember The Godfather?
Oh, listen. This is an embarrassing tale that I have to share with you. Embarrassing for them. Okay, so you know the gimmick of the Godfather is that he was a pimp. Okay,
Yeah,
he was a freaking pimp entering the ring with his. That is one of the worst things from the Attitude Era, by the way.
Yeah, basically, like, him and Val Venus basically exemplify everything wrong with the Attitude Era.
So he came into the ring, dancing with stupid music, with a bunch of, well, for lack of a better word, horse around him.
Come aboard the whole train.
So the horrible thing they did is that they took the Godfather's theme song and they gave it to a current diva.
Really?
See,
Wow.
yes, they gave the song for a pimp to a woman.
Oh my lord!
What am I supposed to think about that?
That she's a hoe.
That's horrible.
That's
yeah.
great fun.
That girl is somebody's wife.
Also, can we remember the time when Triple H brought down the plot twist of Kane doing a dead corpse?
Oh god, I don't even remember that.
I don't.
Maybe I purged that from my mind with fire. I don't know. I don't remember that shit.
Don't you remember?
I think
Triple
the
H was
most
all
absurd
like,
thing-
"You didn't do it, Kane. You had sex with a dead corpse."
Oh,
I think I stopped watching the Attitude Era was right about the time that fucking Kane and X-Pac were tag team champions. I was like,
Actually,
the fuck is this?
I think this was actually past the Attitude Era. I think this was in 2002.
What, that's considered past the Attitude Era?
Yeah, yes. Listen, the Attitude Era, if you want to go to specifics, goes from the Montreal Screwjob in '97 to at least the year of 2000. At least, if you want to stretch it, to at least the period in which they annexed the WCW, ECW, because after that, there was no more Attitude Era. I mean, Attitude Era is it's basically the late '90s in a nutshell.
I stopped watching. Sorry.
2002 was actually the period in which the scission between Raw and SmackDown began. So it began the era of the division of the two rosters. So I believe the context in particular was the match between Triple H and Kane at No Mercy 2002, in which they would have to unify the World Heavyweight Championship, the former WCW Heavyweight Championship, that is, with the Intercontinental Championship.
Because, yeah, it couldn't be fused with the WWE Championship. Not prestigious enough for that.
No, because the WWE Championship was on SmackDown at the time.
I stopped watching wrestling by the time Eddie Guerrero died. Actually.
Oh my.
Oh yeah, that was really sad.
That was
actually.
I kept watching it in spite of that horrible, disgraceful, embarrassing, and quite frankly, rage-inducing thing they did with Rey Mysterio. I mean, they had the guy win the Royal Rumble match, which was bullcrap, if you ask me, and the whole time his gimmick was that, I am doing this in the name of Eddie Guerrero. They didn't even wait for 6 months for the guy's passing to use him immediately for this sort of disgusting things. And Rey Mysterio was the second worst thing in 2006, along with the reborn of the ECW.
Alright, anyway, I'm gonna have to go, guys. I'm already, way
Okay,
over it.
It's been fun talking. It's been fun talking about wrestling with you guys. It's been enlightening in some ways, I think.
Yes.
So, this will make a nice podcast in its own right. So.
Alright. Glad to have helped. Okay, I need to sleep now.
All right.
Take care, dear fairies, and have a good night's sleep.
And okay, Ross, okay, remember to rest in peace.
No, I'm going to have a really terrible sleep tonight. I'm going to be tossing and turning. Just because you said that. I'm literally going to roll over on my dog, and she's going to bite me, and it's not going to be fun.
Okay, somebody's going to get a German suplex.
Yeah, just not good times.
And a full Nelson.
Right, bye, guys.
Bye.
And oh, remember when the Attitude Adjustment used to be called the FU? Good times. Good times.
Don't remind me.
All right. Good night.
Good night and take care.
Did you actually record all that, Devar?
Yes.